Hi people, welcome to another reading vlog. This one's probably a little bit late, but it is my March book. It was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I don't have it beside me right now. I forgot to do an intro whenever I started filming for this, so I'm doing an intro after already reading the book and finishing it. I had previously read the book beforehand. I read it in like 5th grade, 6th grade, so I read it many years ago. I didn't remember anything. Basically, I'm just going to take you on the journey of me reading my March book. I don't know if I filmed a whole lot for it. I wish I filmed more, and I'm going to try to be better and more vigilant about filming myself as I'm reading books. Sometimes it's just a little bit uncomfortable for me still, especially because I do live with my family. And I don't want to, make things difficult for them, but I don't also want to stay in my room all the time. So I will show you what I have got in my thoughts on the book. Frankie, hi, Pops. Hi. So I have read like 25 pages of Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I've been really enjoying it. I've been having a fun time so far. I mean, it's only 25 pages, but it is very nostalgic because I have read this before. I read it in 5th grade, middle school. I don't know. I read it around that age. And I loved the movies that came out. I don't think I read past the first book, so I have them all. I thrifted them from Savers. It is very nostalgic. It is giving very, like 90s, early 2000s children's book, and it's really fun. I love that the chapters have quirky, fun names. It's a great time. It makes the reading experience more fun. The one thing I would say is I didn't really notice how much nothing really makes sense when I read this the first time. Like in the beginning, like they just kind of play things off and nothing really makes sense. I mean, I guess it's because Percy doesn't know. Like, his teacher just grows bat wings and fangs, and also she dies really fast, like way faster that she did in the movie, and I guess that's, for entertainment purposes, but whatever. Anywho's, but like, he just doesn't really question. I mean, he questioned it at the time, but anyways, he saw like these 3 old ladies knitting socks, and he's like, oh, I wonder if they're like Mrs. Dodds. But he never like questioned, why did Mrs. Dodds grow bat wings? Why did she have fangs? What happened to her eyeballs? I mean, he did, like, at the moment, like, in the moment, he questioned it. But I feel like afterwards, I still would have questioned it, It feels like something you would question for a while.
But anywho's, I'm having a fun time. I probably shouldn't have waited until the end of March to read this, but I did. But I think I'll finish it really quickly because it is a middle grade book, and it reads very quickly, and it's very fun. I'm having a great time. I don't really have to think that much about it. Maybe when the mythology stuff comes like into play more, I might have to think about it a little bit more, but right now we're having a solid time. Hello. I finished Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief the other day. Not the other day, it was yesterday. It was my March book. I finished it with an hour and a half to spare of March. Read the book before, but it was so long ago, I honestly didn't remember most of what happened. And a lot of stuff that happened, I was kind of confused because I didn't remember that happening in the movie, which I know they changed a bunch of things in the movie, but it's wild how much they actually changed in the movie. So I was thinking before I end this vlog about watching the movie, and then we could compare the book to the movie. But like, they changed the Vegas situation. You know how in the movie they're like gambling, which I guess are older in the movie probably than in the book, but in the book they're not gambling, they're just like playing machine games. So I was a little confused about that because I was like, hold up, that's not what happened. And then I don't remember them meeting Ares at all in the movie. I also didn't remember it in the book at all, but apparently they did. I felt like maybe somehow I had amnesia and just forgot that, but I don't know. We're gonna watch the movie. We're gonna see if Ares was in the movie, because I really don't remember it. Also, I remember Hades being meaner than he was in the book, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll watch the movie and we'll see. I will stop rambling on and on about the movie, but we'll watch it. I mean, I really have... My only thought about the book is I'm really glad I read it. I've been putting this reread off for so long because I want to read the whole series, and maybe I can like make a video about me reading the rest of the series. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Being 23 years old, reading Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief again at my ripe old age of 23, I enjoyed it. It was a great time. I couldn't put it down. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I mean, I'm really happy with this being my March book. There are too many people here for me to be talking to a camera with the windows down. But you know, I can't read my phone, so maybe people will be thinking that I am FaceTiming somebody. But I do feel like it kind of got a little bit repetitive whenever they were on their trip, because it was essentially the same situation as they would meet up with monsters and then they would defeat the monsters. They'd go to a new place, they would meet up with monsters, they would defeat them, they'd go to a new place, meet up with monsters, defeat them. And I mean, it didn't bother me to where I didn't want to read it, but I realized it got a little bit repetitive, and maybe it's because like it's a middle grade book. So anywho, I do want to say that I completed it and I read my March book, so with only an hour and a half to spare. But yeah, we'll watch the movie later and we'll compare, and then maybe I can bring y'all along with me to watch the movie.
So I watched Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Well, I first fell asleep watching it, but to be fair, I was feeling like crap, so I just fell asleep. I have a cold, if you can't tell. But I remember going to the movies and seeing that movie in the movies when it first came out and thinking that it was a great movie. But rewatching it now, this might be a hot take. It's kind of not that great. It's kind of not that good. It changed a lot of things from the book that I didn't really feel like they needed to change. And I don't really feel like it reflects the same tension that it does in the novel. Because, I mean, they essentially just drive in a truck the entire way through America. But in the book, they're trying to figure out how to get there, and that is part of the tension, part of the anxiety when you're reading it. You're like, how are they going to get there? Are they going to get there in time? But they have a truck for this entire movie, pretty much, until they hit Vegas, and then they get a new car. And it's like, you know that they're going to get there. So, I don't know. Maybe they did it to make it kind of more reasonable, kind of more realistic, but I kind of didn't like that aspect at all, that with like them changing that. They also like completely took out the St. Louis one, and I felt like that was one of the most anxiety inducing parts of the novel. They took that out. That kind of sucks. But overall, I had a great time reading the book. I have the other books in the series, so I'm probably going to continue, because when I read it the first time, I never continued. I only read to the first one and stopped. Hold on. Okay. I only read the first book and then I stopped. I never, continued on. So I think I might continue on with the second book and the third book and whatever. I might continue on with the series, because I had a great time. I couldn't put it down once I started, and the thing is I started it too late because I'm a procrastinator, and I started it 2 days before the end of the 2 to 3 days before the end of the month, and then I went to the zoo and I was gone all day, so I didn't read any of it. I literally finished that book with an hour and a half left of March. So it kind of sucks for me, but I will try to be better about vlogging my read of the month. I know that is kind of the whole point of a booktube, and B, me setting these books that I'm supposed to read for a month. And I've honestly been really slacking on just reading in general, so I'm going to try to be better about that. I have ideas for reading vlogs. I just have to be more vigilant about actually vlogging it and carrying through with it. So I will do better. I will try. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope maybe it convinced you to go back and reread some books you read as a child that you loved, and to see if you still love them, and also to continue with the series that you may not have finished for no reason in particular. You just didn't pick up the other books. But I'll see you next time, my people. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.